mulattoes back in the news.
Shut the fuck up, man. Really? God damn it.
Hey,
What now?
Like, Matt don't even be knowing sometimes. He's like, what? Huh?
Dude, what fucking now? What now? What they do now?
Smitty, you don't know, but I talked to Matt privately. We'd be talking, and he's like, fuck, what? No way. He like really is like, fuck, what's out there? I'm
busy as shit, man. I do this, and then I go into my own fucking world all day, so
let's Bailey, let's where can we start today?
Where should we start?
Let's start here.
Let's go.
Appreciated, underrated, but the best. Yes. Now I cross my chest, I'm impressed. No, I don't stress, cause you know I'm staying blessed. I'm coming, baby. Now I told you.
You know I'm not stressed because I'm blessed. Okay, I like that, Prom. I see you, boy.
Can I begin before Matt? Matt, I'm sorry to put you in peculiar situations like these.
Yeah, I'm sure you're fucking real.
Hey, look at Matt. Matt don't know what to do with his hands right now. Like his hands is doing a whole bunch of shit.
I'm gonna be honest, Matt. I have some sort of secondhand embarrassment right now for myself and for the coaches in the world. I just have a secondhand embarrassment. Not to hate, because Smitty will call me a hater. I just have a secondhand embarrassment. I'm gonna leave it at that. Go ahead, Matt.
I don't have a problem with this at all, dude. Who cares? He wants to go fucking be a hip hop star with his son, then do it. You have the ability to do it, do it. One of my favorite fucking outlaw country singers is Kyle Turley. Now he did it after he got done playing football, and he's not a Division I Power 5 head coach, Power 4 head coach. I don't care about that, but
he's got to win. You just gotta win. That's it, Matt. He has to win, Matt. That's it.
If he
stop, Matt. Stop.
If he doesn't win, this is going to be the biggest embarrassment in history. Like, it just doesn't get worse. So please, for the love of God and all things holy, for every orphan child out there, please, God. Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, everybody, we need your help. Please, God, just fucking start 3-0 and go into the Big 12 like rolling. Because first 3 games are scaring the ever-living shit out of me.
Hey, Coach Prom must know something that we don't, though.
He's got to.
He must know something. He must have some type of
secret sauce
in the locker room that we don't know about, man.
Right?
So Smitty,
he's too comfortable. He's too fucking like he.
That's look. I'm not saying that you can't go have fun. I'm not saying that you can't go sing and make music videos.
I'm saying she's a gold digger.
Look, dog. I've like gotten to the point with all of this shit where I don't even know what to say anymore. Like I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's cool. High five.
I thought you said something last week interesting on here. You said like eventually shit stacks up to where I tell Smitty this forever. You and I talk about shit all the time as a coach.
Mounts, bro.
Shit stacks up. Like eventually that's your book though. Like when you start to see shit stack up, eventually all this shit stacking up is eventually that's your book you're writing. That is who you are.
I want to bring up something that no one's really talked about. And I'm doing this all here today. I'm not doing my show today. We'll be back tomorrow on 0 to 60. I've been moving for 5 days, and I want to kill myself. It's awful. That said, Coach Prime has always been, when he was prime time, before he was Coach Prime, he's always been in control of everything because he was playing. When you're playing, you have more control because you're on the field. Coaches don't have much control. They have to watch. You're an exaggerated fan that makes calls. Okay, that's what a coach is. Now, it's more important than a fan, obviously, but you're making calls. You have no real outcome on the game once the game plan's in. You have to have your players go play. The better players you have, the better coach you are, yada, yada, yada. Whether he was playing at Florida State or playing for Atlanta or San Francisco or Dallas or Baltimore or the Redskins or whoever. That's right, the Redskins. Or he was post-career when he was running high schools and fucking he's on TV every 5 minutes and he works for this company and that company. He's always the commodity. He's always the guy. He's always the guy in the room that can change everything. You have a bad segment, turn to Prime. He can knock it out of the park. They're driving the ball and you need to play. Prime can pick it off and take it to the house. Well, now he's the coach. And he can't affect everything the same way he did. He can get the people in the room, but they all don't think like he does. Not even his kids think like he does. So my question would be, all right, what do you know that we don't know? Because we've seen practice. We know the players on the roster. I'd say there's 4 to 5 like definite draft picks. And Jordan Seaton's one of them. There could be some really good offensive linemen in there, but we don't know yet. We got to see him play.
Right.
Seaton's so young, and then the other 4 are Shador, Shiloh, Travis, and Horn. So all I'm sure there's more guys in there that can play, but what I'm saying here is Coach Prime could always take over the moment and just do him, and he's in control of the moment when it goes south. Well, now he's not in control of the moment. He can, like last year at Stanford, where they're up 28-0 and then they lose. In the second half, he's chewing everybody out, and the kids are like, whatever, motherfucker. Stockmeyer's over there turning his back to him, and Cooper's turning his back to him. They're like, yeah, we're tired of hearing this shit. And they lose. And the Oregon State game where they don't, or they call a timeout and give Oregon State another possession, and then we lose by 6. And they score on that possession. That's him directly affecting the game and then putting his team in a bad situation. So all I'm saying is he can make decisions from the sideline, but he's not making any plays. And when you can't make plays, it's really hard to – like if Joe Namath would have been a coach and he would have said, we're going to beat Baltimore in Super Bowl III, everybody would have been like, coach is crazy. But he's a player. He can actually affect the outcome of the game. He doesn't just stand there.
Right.
I'm not trying to take away from coaches, but I am saying that if you don't have players, I don't give a fuck who you are. Look at Bill Belichick with players and look at Bill Belichick without players. One guy has 10 rings and one guy is fired.
What do you say with guys like my old former player in here, Latrell, who's like, let me guess, he's supposed to be football every second of the day? Well, I want to answer that first as a former coach and as a player and then a coach transitioning. There's really not a lot of extra time to not coach every single second of the day if you're a Power 5 guy, a JUCO head guy, or even a Division I regular guy.
What is this guy talking about? If you're not all football all day, you're going to be watching football all day.
Listen, I don't think people really realize.
You can't half time this job.
There's nothing worse than a part-timer. First of all, let me throw that out there. Second of all, I believe that social media has normalized having fun and being able to do TikTok videos and dancing on those videos and doing all these things. I don't coach no more, Latrell. I don't use my free time to smoke and drink. That is my time. I smoke and drink all day. This is my free time right here.
Yeah, and also Latrell, like you need to back off, dog. He's earned all this. He earned the right to sit on his ass and do a radio podcast show that people watch and listen to because he put fucking time in. Because he's respected by the community and the goddamn industry. He's not just sitting in his house typing on a fucking laptop, fool. Don't sit here and badmouth Coach, fool. Understand who the fuck
think Trail is talking about. We'll see. I think Trail's talking about when you coached, like while you were still actively coaching, you would take like your free time, so to speak, to smoke.
Okay, so what? The 2 weeks
at midnight.
So he gets 2 weeks in July and 2 weeks in March to go on vacation.
And guess what? Yeah,
and for clarity, man, I don't know if you heard, like Trail is one of JB's former players, so like they just so you know, like they.
Well, then Latrell, I'm a fucking jerk, and I'll shut up. I'm sorry.
No, you're not a jerk. I was letting you know because I can tell by your energy, so you probably don't even know. Like they.
Hey, by the way, Matt, Latrell's been motherfucked by me. He don't give a fuck. He's tough skin. He coaches now. He's tough skin. He's like here's
Latrell. Sorry.
Hey, Matt. Me going on my deck and smoke cigars at midnight after I've worked 14 hours is a whole nother ball game. That rap video, each his own. Go do you, Deion. But that's not I get to go chill at midnight and do something on the humbug. That's a production.
Look.
That's a production. That's a lot of time into that shit right there.
Fuck yeah. And
That
look,
ain't, that ain't me lighting a cigar, Latrell, and going on the deck.
No, bro, I'm be real with y'all. Deion probably didn't even write the fucking lyrics. Their actual rapper probably wrote the lyrics. Deion came in, read it,
and that's
gave it
great.
2 takes, and it was recorded. It wasn't that hard. What y'all think.
Gentlemen.
I like how you doing the bounce though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What happens? Okay, so say they start 1-2 or 0-3, and I'm not saying they're going to. I know they started 3-0 last year. They beat TCU, they beat Nebraska, they beat CSU. This year's schedule is. I'm not saying it's easier. I don't know if it's easier or not at the beginning. North Dakota State at home on Thursday night on national TV to open the season. I'm watching clips of them running fucking quarterback power O where they're pulling the guard, tackle, fullback, tight end, smashing the entire left side down and running through a hole you can run a train through at Kansas State, by the way. So I'm not anybody that wants to sit here and take the points on that game and like, oh, CU's going to beat them by 4 touchdowns and kill them. You're fucking stupid. You are dumb as fuck. North Dakota State's going to shorten the game, run the ball down their throat, limit opportunities, and blitz the absolute living shit out of Shedeur. Now, should they score and win the game? Absolutely they should. Would it be a massive upset if they lose? Absolutely it would. Has North Dakota State beat 9 out of the last 10 FBS or FBS Power 5 teams they played on the road? Yes, they have. So that's number one. Number two, you go to Lincoln. I think Nebraska is going to be monumentally better than they were, and they're going to be just as good and not better on defense. Matt Rule is a program builder. And if you think that last year was big, and it was, the game in Lincoln this year, it has been close to 5,000 days since the University of Nebraska has beat Colorado. It has been since 2018. All right? Last second win in Lincoln, the fucking overtime win in Folsom where they sold the stadium out and they all had to watch us come back on them. 2 years off, and then last year's ass beating in Folsom, and now we go back to Lincoln. That's their Super Bowl, bro. They lose that game, they're never gonna hear the end of it from Colorado fans. And then they've got CSU and Fort Collins that just got picked up on CBS for national TV too. So all 3 of your games are on national TV. I would bet my pinky that game day or big noon will be at CSU, even though they're not broadcasting the game. And that is going to be their Super Bowl. And if you remember that game last year, I didn't get home till 4 in the fucking morning. It was a goddamn war. It felt like the CU-CSU games that I used to play in back in the day that were just back and forth all day, last play of the game, double overtime shit, like it's the way it's supposed to be. So all I'm saying is last year you cannot respect the history and you can just kind of roll in and do whatever you want. But now you're part of the history, and you have to respect the history of Nebraska and Colorado State. You've got to honor North Dakota State correctly. If I'm North Dakota State, I'm playing this today. First off, it's the first thing I do. I walk in, I turn the lights off in the team room, and I put Coach Prime up there dancing with Snoop Dogg and go, this is what they're doing. This is what we're going to do. Get ready to beat their ass on the 28th of August in Folsom. They're getting ready for the NFL. We're getting ready for August 28th. And I'm telling you, bro, it's just there's a huge target on the University of Colorado, and it's not because we're good. It's because we're out there. And if you don't like it, I don't give a shit. 4-8 is not the standard in Boulder. And I'm telling you, if they don't win 8-9 games this year and there isn't trajectory up, and they're not, keep in mind, they're not, if they haven't found a replacement for Shedeur, they need to go find a 5-star replacement for him. You got to go find replacements for Horn. You got to replace Travis Hunter. You got to replace Shiley. You're going to have to replace everybody. So then Coach Prime is going to sit there and go, do I really want to replace all these guys and do all this work to keep this going? Or do I want to go watch Shedeur and Shiloh and Travis play, and I've got 8 toes and I can't handle the strain and blah, 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 blah. And that's why he's not going to coach anymore. So I have a feeling that they're going to be about 6-6, and the guys are going to get drafted high and they're going to underachieve, and something bad's going to happen at the end of the season.
Yeah. AD's picks in the chat. It is a Colorado show when Matt's on, because he's from Colorado. He played in Colorado. He lives in Colorado. He covers Colorado. So yeah, it is a Colorado show. Dumb fuck. Now Shut the fuck up. Now listen. Real quick, Matt, I got 2 takes on this that are debatable and interesting. Number one,
I love you, Coach, dude.
Number one, I want to be clear. 4-8, bro. 4-8. Why is this an upset if North Dakota State wins? See, this is, and hear me out. Hear what I'm having to say. This is my point. We have put this team who has won 5 games in 3 years on a pedestal and act as if they are fucking Alabama because of this coach, Coach Sanders. Y'all call Coach Prime. This is why he should be heard and not seen at this point, Latrell. But just win, baby. Just win. You wonder why he shouldn't be seen doing songs? Because this is why. You have them favored against certain teams, and I'm sitting there, why? And listen, it's not a knock on why. My question is, I don't believe we fairly have evaluated this program. They shouldn't be favored, and it shouldn't be an upset if they lose. See, that's the problem. We're putting more pressure, added pressure on Deion Sanders and this culture in a 18-month span. Let's be honest.
You aren't. Smitty
no, I know.
They are putting the pressure on themselves, dog.
I know. So it's 18-month span. We've actually put this team on a pedestal that they just really, aren't there yet. Like they shouldn't be favored. I don't even think they should be favored versus North Dakota State. Only reason they are is because it's a Power 5. It's Deion Sanders.
Right. That's the bigger reason. I mean, they're still a Power 5, Power 4 school, whatever you want to call it. And, North Dakota State, we know they're phenomenal, but strength of schedule still has to matter.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
go still, Coach. Sorry.
Well, no, I got this other take I want to ask you. Go ahead, but I want you to ask a question first.
I keep saying this in here. It's he's doing it for the culture. And I'm just a big, stupid white motherfucker, but there weren't other successful black coaches. They weren't doing it for the culture. They're just coaching.
There were 3 at 5-0 last year, and they didn't get any coverage.
Well, that's Smitty. How do you feel about that? Being a black man in the United States of America, and I don't say African American anymore. I just say American because I never understood that. If he's doing it for the culture, again, big dumb white guy over here, I think I understand it. But he's not the first black coach ever.
Right.
He's not the first ex-player that's a black coach. Shaun Foster is the coach at UCLA. He was a bad motherfucker at UCLA and an unbelievable running back for the Panthers and in the NFL. That famous picture of him jumping in the end zone, holding the ball in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I've seen him on TV once. He did the Rick Eisen show, and that's the last time I saw him. So why aren't the other black coaches, why aren't they being projected and elevated and their eyes on their programs the same way? It seems to me like it's a little bit biased to one dude, don't you?
It's definitely biased. It just be, and I always say this to JB. It's just that there's only one Deion, and I know that's like an easy answer, but it's the truth. It's because it's who he is. It's who he was as a player, as a brand, how he carried himself from the beginning. Like, at the end of the day, everything we're seeing from Deion isn't really a surprise. This is who he's literally always been. We just never seen this from a head coach, so that's why it's alarming. It's uncomfortable. It's almost like he's still showcasing who he was as a player, and a coach typically doesn't do that. So that's why I think right now it's so much I don't know if it's discomfort or whatever you want to call it, where it's like, damn, like, is this gonna work? It looks kind of weird. Like, my coach ain't never did that, so it just kind of feels weird. So I think I'll never say he's doing it for the culture, but for the people who are saying that, I think it's more or less like Deion's always going to be him. And he's going to, whether that's connecting with the hip hop community, whether that's doing extra stuff outside of the football field, doing a music video, wearing the chains, wearing his own style and swag, talking the way he talks. I think just being fully yourself and not trying to change to fit some mold, some head coaching mode that's been, I don't know, I guess a template has been set because just from over the years of head coaches for a long time, whatever. Predominantly white head coach. Obviously, we've had a lot of black coaches too, of course, but predominantly
it's all been
led by white head coaches.
Let's be real. When I was in high school, homie, who was it? What's his name? Sylvester Croom.
Yeah.
Black head coach at Mississippi State in history.
But he left the NFL.
I was in high school, dog. Yeah, but he was at Mississippi State, right?
Yeah, he left the Packers, came down, coach. He was the first guy, Mississippi State.
First guy in SEC history, and that happened in 1998.
or 9
maybe
or
later.
something. Yeah, I don't know.
That's fucking nuts.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Like
Somebody had a really good point here in the chat, though. All right, at Cap T Lucky 23 said, "How many people are in jail or doing bad shit because of the culture?" And I'm like, God damn, that's some heavy shit right there.
Yeah, here's the thing, though.
Yeah, but I think the whole culture shit gets, and that's why I don't like really saying it, because I think it gets, everyone has their own opinion of what it is. Like doing the illegal shit and like in shooting people or selling drugs and shit ain't for the culture. Deion's not doing that, so you can't put that in the same boat. Deion is being himself and being, you can say, rambunctious and being outgoing, but he's just being Deion. No, so like I don't compare the two at all. But go ahead, Eddie.
Here's my take, though.
Okay, that's fair.
James Franklin has been coaching for a goddamn while. I've known James a long time. He was the coach in waiting at Maryland under Ralph Friedgen years ago when the coach in waiting thing, Manny Diaz was at Texas for Mac Brown, and he was at Maryland for Friedgen. Those were the first two coach in waitings, quote unquote. And then that shit died out when all this money started to get so astronomical that coaches were like, fuck waiting. I'm going to take this job and get out of here. Mike Loxley, my good friend Dino Babers, and Mike Loxley, good friends of mine, and the Freeman at Notre Dame, I believe, were a combined 15-0 last year and gotten zero coverage at 15-0. 3 black head coaches.
Norvell's a black head coach up at CSU.
Yep.
3 head coaches, and that's why I know Jay in a long time. That's why I was excited when I saw Jay drop his nuts in that program come out and ball, because of the reason of the fact that, hold on, dog, I'm a brother too. I just was at Nevada. I've been at Purdue. I've been at K-State. I've been at all these places. And now I'm also a black head coach that you basically, if I was him, I'd be feeling shitted on. And I would be the same way in all these other things. By the way, Dino Babers was 5-0 and got fired last year. So I just want to throw that out there. No one wants to talk about that, though. See, that's the thing. That's why I think we got to stop anointing so quickly and putting these cats on a pedestal so unfairly. And it's unfair because the media does it, but fairly they do it because why Deion does what he does. He's in the media every day and gives us the content to talk about.
Right.
So,
and it worked. I mean, it worked from a standpoint of popularity. And again, Matt talked about it earlier. Fucking Big Noon was there. The first 4 or 5 weeks were insane. It was Big nuts, Noon, man. College game day, sold out crowd. The spring game was sold out.
I went to the Nebraska game, bros. When I went to the Nebraska game, I felt like I was on a red carpet. I'd never seen anything like it before. I'm fucking hanging out with Big Ticket, one of my favorite players ever, taking pictures with him, fucking hanging out with Wu-Tang and Cameron and shit. We're all standing in the locker room trying to figure out what the hydration thing is on the piss machines. We're all sitting there like, what the fuck is this thing, man? Raekwon's sitting there like, I don't know what it is. And Cameron's like, I don't know what it is either. And then one of the players walk in and start pissing, and we're like, all right, okay.
Hey, but look, though,
it was nuts. It was fucking
we got these cats.
So to your point, that be like, that's the Deion's not getting praised just because he's black. He's getting praised because he's Deion. Like it's like if Tom Brady became a head coach or some shit, he's gonna get crazy coverage. If Peyton, like, he's an all-timer. He's Deion. Like
I never said
wants to go down that road.
Yeah, but I've never said Deion gets this from being black. I never even brought up him.
Well, but you always bring up the other black coaches. I'm like, okay, like, I hear you, but like, they're not Deion. No, it's more than just being black. But that's my point. That's my segue that I wanted to ask you guys. My second part of what I wanted to ask you. That's my point right there. You said it greatly. Like, people don't understand. Like, I don't know if a business CEO, and I want to ask Matt this. I don't know if there's a guy that's never coached or played football ever. To our point with the female whole thing we had that went viral and all these other takes about these people that don't really have a experience, hands-on base. I don't know if that's not true anymore going forward. Just in a short couple months since we've aired that, how far I've seen this thing really come. Because what Deion does in the media, what we see all these other programs doing in the media to attract NIL collectives and kids from the portal and how the portal is acting right now, I'm not too sure, Matt, at this point, that I couldn't go grab a guy, a Bank of America CEO that has not a fucking clue what a pigskin is, and come in and structure a program under this current landscape and have success.
I don't know if I'm against it anymore, dog, because it's not football anymore. Deion is right now a figurehead bringing in money to a program that was down and out, and that's why they have anointed Deion as the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not for winning games. It's for bringing in dollars. And I don't know if there's not a person out there that understands metrics, books, analytics, that can structure a salary cap, so to speak, under this current landscape, put together a roster analytically, and then go hire assistant coaches to coach them up in the game. And I don't know if that's something that's not feasible anymore. I really don't. That's what they're doing. They're managing right now, Matt. They are managers.
Not coaching. I agree.
They're not coaching. And I don't know if I'm so far away from it no more. I really don't.
Well, I just think it's more about backpats and social media posts than development. I'm very eager to see what Brett Kulajay says today. He was up there this weekend, had a personal.
And Matt, not to cut you off, that's a great point, because that was my next part of this. Like, Matt, it's no longer coaching no more if you have 40 new kids every quarter.
Yeah, so you can't develop them. It's impossible.
You can't develop them. So when Smitty mentioned, and you mentioned these 2 guys are NFL guys, and these 4 maybe guys on the roster are NFL guys, they're not Deion's guys. See, that's the thing. They're not Dabo Sweeney, that's a bad example, but they're not the guy at Alabama's guys. Right. They're not the guy at Arizona's guys no more. They're everyone's guys. So, who is really taking credit for this anymore? That's my point of maybe a CEO can just come in there, work the portal, and now just run a program, because there's no one's guys no more. We don't teach tackling no more. There's no philosophy on how are we running our hips? Are we taking the air out? Are we upfield shoulder? Are we wrong arming? Are we clubbing? Are we kick stepping? Are we 6-6 step zone guy?
It's like I just said. It's like I just said, and that's a great point. It's like I just said, though. Look, Brett Kulajay went to Valor. He's a 4-star going on 5-star. He's got 30 offers, and his top 5 off the top of my head are Georgia, Texas, LSU, Alabama, and Nebraska. And Colorado just reoffered him this weekend. Good thinking. Tennessee's all over him. I was actually in here with the Tennessee coaching staff on the phone with Brett the other day. They love him. I mean, and that's not even like Penn State offered him. Oklahoma offered him. Oklahoma State offered him. He's got everyone. He's an IMG. He's going to be a junior. I am extremely eager to hear about what they did this weekend. He played next to Seton. He played with Cleveland. Those are 2 guys from IMG that are on the roster in Boulder. Was it just look, guys, there's tons of hot chicks up here, and this is going to be so fun, and it's going to be a big jerk-off session, or are we trying to get Brett ready for the NFL because that's what he wants to do? So I'm hoping that he didn't get enamored with all the bullshit. I tried to tell him what to talk about, just give him a guidance. But if they weren't in the film room, if they weren't on the whiteboard, if they weren't talking about scheme, if they weren't talking about how to early enroll him and get him in early so he can walk in and start next to Seton again, there's no chance to even try and recruit him. This was just a big bullshit session, because you're already late on him. He's got 30 offers before you get in, and he's from Denver.